received over a couple of couple of things from different, like, noticed a few things from different people, and things like, so Victor came to you and talked to you about leaving Alan by himself. Not a strike, by the way. There's going to be no strikes tonight. Like, nothing like that. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, and he said that you're apologetic. We just need to bring it up so that nobody else does it, and we're not saying any names tomorrow, anything like that. We just need to bring it up. Yes, that is super important that we explain the treatment too. Hi, Victor. We're just discussing with Jono about some of the issues that's been brought up recently.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on break right now, so I've got a little bit of time.
We just mentioned about what you had discussed with Jono about leaving Alan. Jono has said that he didn't mean to do that, and talking about explaining the treatment, just so that we're doing that. I've said that I'm not giving any strikes tonight. That is something I do not want to do. I want to get this before we explain it, and there are some things that I do that I need to also change my own practice in.
Okay.
Something else that we're gonna bring up when I find all my list is we talked about so the med kits are going to come up about explaining the treatment, things like that. And discussing with the person as well. Oh, so like, you may have to go and talk to the OCD and just say, look, this needs medical. This is something that's been brought up before. I think there was an announcement about it that Sully made that announcement, 2 months ago, about people actually role-playing their injuries. So you can also so they should be role-playing their injuries instead of going, oh, I'm absolutely fine, and things like that. And some people choose to use the walked injured style for their own RP. Doesn't necessarily mean they're injured. They're doing it for the role play and continuing on with the role play like that.
Yeah, Victor did that for about 2 days after he went leg first into a crashed heli on Great Ocean Highway.
Perfect. That's what we need to do, and that's what we want to encourage. Sorry, Jono's messaging me in a private TS chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely fine. That's their choice. That's their thing. But continuing that roleplay is fantastic, and often we're actually the people who meet the new people to begin with. Like, we are the ones who instruct them. This is how we roleplay these injuries. And you know as well as I that some people are coming in with absolutely no idea what the medical roleplay is. that might be something that might be quite useful to take forward, asking people if they've ever been in the hospital before or if they've ever like received medical help. That might be something quite useful to help with, and something that we can bring up tomorrow and be like, yeah, let's have a go with it. So we've discussed about, I always say this, there'll be a time that we can just state a few things on our own, that we can do them, things like that. That would be a really good thing to bring up tomorrow, to say that once we like open the floor for people to discuss their issues and things like that. Something else that I'm just going to bring up, and this is where my own practice comes in, is that I'm going to emphasize that if we're an FTO or a TA, our priority is always going to be our rookie, because we don't always have to take on a rookie. We don't have to let me try. If you're not feeling up for it that day, then that's fine. But this is where my own practice, we're going to say that if it's a rookie and there's a call, say, out in the water, that's not what we're training our rookies in. We're not training our rookies in doing water rescues, things like that. We're going to say, if there's another medic on duty who can go and attend to that water rescue or go and attend to that flying rescue up on Mount Chiliad, we're going to let them do that. And we're going to practice on the rookie. Again, it's just the emphasis of, if you don't want to do it, just say, I don't want to do it today. But our priority is now going to be on the rookie rather than trying to do it all. But we are taking on your board of the idea of the commanding office when we did the training, is that if we are on a mass scene with the probationaries, so say PSB goes down and we have a load of PD down, we're going to say, if you're on FTOTA and you think your rookie's okay at driving, get them to transport the people to hospital, because there's no treatment in that. They're just transporting them to the hospital, getting them into Dr. Gomez, coming back, transporting. We're taking that idea from your thing, because Victor and Cara both looked at it and gone, yeah, that's absolutely fine. They haven't corrected me, so I'm going to say that's absolutely fine. But we are taking your idea from that. And we're also going to be... actually, I'll let you reply to that one, and then I'll get... You can... We'll move on to the next thing. I mean, we should be letting... In terms of that, we should be letting the probationaries treat anyway, because they're supposed to be independent, things like that. The only people that we should be like... So we're also saying that the highest ranking EMS will always be the commanding officer. So that the highest ranking EMS will be the one who goes around and does the triage. We'll use PSB again. The highest ranking EMS will go in because they're supposed to have the most knowledge and most experience. They'll go in. They will triage, they will do the code 4, they will triage and tell people which person to go. So if you're the highest ranking officer, your priority will be, actually, I'm going to go and drop this rookie off with another EMS. I'm going to go in. I'm going to do the triage and check its code 4 because I have the most experience. If it's Victor on and there's a PSB, we're going to say Victor's the one. He's going to drop his rookie off with another Pro-B or paramedic, and he's going to be the one doing the code 4 and triage. Does that sound fair? When I was a specialist TA with Cletus Leakers and others, I was like, okay, I'm going to check. I'll call code 4, then I'll move on. We'll go from there. I'll split everyone. Yeah, which sounds fine. It just means that if that happens, sometimes people don't actually get won't actually get the experience of being on a chaotic scene. So that's one of the things I'm going to be bringing forward to Victor and Kara is that, for example, Sophia doesn't have any experience on has very minimal experience on chaotic scenes. So we need to expose her to as much chaotic scenes as possible, but because she's and it would be good for Dave as well to have that chaotic. There's complications with that. So with Sophia's being on duty or more, we've actually cut her down. We cut Sophia down on her being on duty more because she gets too stressed out. And unfortunately something else has come up and I need to go and discuss that with Victor and Kara. This is a long-standing problem with her. And something you deserve to know is that, we need to expose her to it, but we need to do it in small increments.
I think maybe a controlled environment. Like, I think Saturdays is usually when PD does their training that involves PSB with their breaches and clears. If we could potentially work with them for medic training to then get them, lightly exposed to controlled environments of the chaos, where it's
we need
known OOC that it's just
so
you're getting used to it.
Part of that is a discussion that Kara and I both need to have with PD, is that we need to start discussing some of the things, like when EMS arrive on scene, we are the ones, medical is actually in charge of that scene until they are up and we relieve it over to the police. Like, we should be the ones in charge of scenes. We should be the ones saying to the police, you need to go and put pressure on this wound. You need to go and clean that wound. We need to focus on this. You will wait until we've finished. That's something we need to discuss and discuss with PD, and unfortunately we need to get that sorted out. Yeah, and that's something else we need to bring up, is that as soon as someone's picked up, it's not to do with us anymore. If we're taking them back to the hospital, that's us. But until they're picked up, we are the ones that are still on scene. We are the ones that are still in charge. We're saving their lives. So they need to understand that we should be in charge of that. Yeah, and then some of them aren't doing it, and that's, again, another thing we need to bring up. Some of them are bringing them to their feet, and it's like, no, we should be, only medic should be doing that. If we ask you to bring them to their feet, that's another thing. See, that's the thing. Mike Stone the other day decided he was going to put medical tape instead of bandages. It was like, how are you expecting someone to stop bleeding through medical tape? Sure, okay. And then decided that he was going to say that actually, no. He possibly did, but it was the reply of, it was something like the reply of, it's fine afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not something that's fine.
No. It was like, you are telling an EMS how to do an EMS job. Sure.
I don't tell you how to shoot the criminals. You don't tell me how to patch them up.
No. That's the main thing. So, like I said, there's lots of points we need to bring up with PD and things like that. Yes, the meeting is tomorrow night. Something else. The last thing I'm going to bring up. Am I doing the last thing? What time for us? It is 6 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Yes, so 11. 11 for us. The last thing that we're probably going to hear back from PD is we need to make, because it's part of Stop Being Heroes, like we're being told, no, it's fine, don't worry about it, if you're not on tonight, you're not on tonight, we'll be fine. Are they being yappy at the moment, your dogs? Okay, so one last thing that I am going to say is, and we're going to probably hear, but like I said, this is... Dogs are fun. I like dogs. Is that we've been told to stop being heroes. And part of that is that we're being told to wait for Code 4. Like, not going in until we receive that message from PD saying Code 4. Because there's a lot of issues coming up, and it's one of the main... Yes. So even following PD in a heli or a boat or a... in the car, we are now being told that we need to stage. Yep, so we're not even approaching them until we get the Code 4. So it's either the highest ranking EMS will declare it Code 4 or the police will do it Code 4. Either way, we need... Basically, the main point of this meeting is that we need to stop being heroes. Because that's something that's appeared. And we're also going to say that, in terms of the command thing, is that if we have... Like, the highest ranking EMS may not always be the one in charge because they may not have the full information, but they can take overcharge once you've relayed that information to them. So say you're on and the Victor you're like 10 minutes into a scene and Victor appears. Victor's not going to take over like command because he doesn't have full information. But he may take over command if it suddenly gets too much going over there. but we're just going to say most of the time we want you to take command. We want you to work on that command. But that's literally all we need to just say. Like I said, just wanted to get this with you before you felt like, oh, this is all attacking against me. We wanted to get you before it happened. Because that's fine. Which is fine if it's an old habit. It's just we need to kind of rein it back, and like we are like there's no strikes, nothing, but going forward we're saying these are now strikeable offences. The last thing we want to do is have you have a strike for something that actually we could have had discussion before we even mention it.
There you go.
Is that all okay? Do you feel like that was all fair and what I said was all fair? It's good to hear. I'll let you go back to the game because if you're drinking, go and enjoy your drink. Or go and stop your dogs being terrors. Go and enjoy that. I'm now going to go and discuss with Kara. Bye-bye. Oh, hi.
Hi, what's up?
Okay. Ooh, which side of the story do you want first?
Whichever one you want to give me.
Okay, so last night, I'll do up until the stories collide. Last night, Sophia said that the night before she had been actually discussing with. I'm going to stop recording now because I don't need that.